The village of Golden Turtle nestled against the hillside, notorious for its aridity. During the rainy season, the clay soil was as hard as rock. In the dry season, it cracked and turned sterile. In the middle of the village lay a large piece of land the villagers called the barrens, a place where no traditional crop could survive for more than one season. The main character is Farmer John, a farmer in his 50s whose hands were calloused and whose eyes always held a searching, inquisitive spark. Unlike others who resigned themselves to planting old strains of rice and sweet potatoes, Farmer John harbored a bold dream: to transform the barrens into a producer of a high-value crop, so that Golden Turtle would no longer be dependent on the mercy of nature. The initial turning point came when Farmer John used his entire meager savings to purchase seeds of the phoenix fruit, a species originating from a different climate famed for its drought resistance, yet never successfully cultivated in this harsh land. Martha, his closest neighbor, was the first to object. "Farmer John, stop trying to do the impossible. This land has buried so many hopes. People say follow nature's way, John." Farmer John merely smiled, his hands still busy sowing the seeds. He replied, "Martha, following nature's way does not mean surrendering to adversity. Nature only shows us the limits, but perseverance opens the door to innovation. I believe this land needs a plant that knows how to accommodate it, and I will be the one to find that plant." He sowed the first 100 phoenix fruit seeds. In the initial days, the 100 seedlings sprouted weakly, but after just one scorching heat wave, they withered and dried up. Farmer John had failed the first time. He was not discouraged. The second time, he improved the soil, mixing in organic fertilizer. The third time, he installed a manual drip irrigation system. By the 10th attempt, all the plants were dead. The pressure began to mount. The villagers started to turn their backs. No one smiled back at Farmer John's greetings anymore. They called him the stubborn dreamer, the man ruined by dead earth. His children also grew worried, advising him to stop and sell the land. The crisis peaked when Farmer John's wife fell seriously ill. He had no money for treatment, having invested everything into the barrens. He faced his greatest question: am I being persistent, or am I being selfishly stubborn? This was Farmer John's ultimate crisis. In his despair, Farmer John stopped going to the field and only reread his notes. He suddenly realized the error was not in the cultivation, but in the seeds themselves and the irrigation method. The seeds. The pure phoenix fruit strain was too weak on its own. It needed to be hybridized with a local hardy wild plant to inherit its adaptability. The irrigation. Clay soil does not retain water. Drip or flood irrigation either evaporated or was repelled by the hard ground. The solution had to be an underground irrigation technique to maintain long-term moisture. Farmer John transitioned from simply trying hard to learning and innovating. He recognized perseverance is not the repetition of a flawed action in the hope of a different result, but the continuous refinement of the action until the right path is found. He began to tinker, researching hybridization techniques and designing a rudimentary subterranean irrigation system using old bamboo tubes and plastic pipes. After 17 failures with the purebred strain, Farmer John sowed 100 new seeds. These were the phoenix fruit hybrid plants, a product of perseverance and local knowledge. The weather that year was more severe than any before. The drought lasted for months, like a final challenge. While other crops in the village wilted, 100 of Farmer John's hybrid plants stood firm. Their roots plunged deep, drawing moisture from the optimized underground irrigation system. One morning, the phoenix fruit hybrid plants began to flower, then bear fruit. This fruit was not only highly valuable, but also possessed a unique flavor, combining the essence of the foreign plant with the resilience of the native one. The villagers flocked to see it. No one mocked him anymore. Martha said, moved, "It truly is a miracle." Farmer John shook his head. "It is no miracle, Martha. This is the fruit of 17 failures, 17 lessons that were never discarded. The difference is not in the plant, but in the capacity to accept failure and to innovate. Following the successful harvest, traders came directly to the village for purchase, and golden turtle began its revival. Farmer John did not keep his secret. He shared the hybridization and subterranean irrigation techniques with every villager. He brought not only a new crop, but also a life philosophy. Adversity is the laboratory. The barrens was not a curse, but the harshest testing ground, forcing people to be creative and resourceful. The value of perseverance. Persistence is not physical strength, but the mental fortitude to stand up after every fall, analyze, and correct the mistake. The story of Farmer John and the Phoenix fruit hybrid became a reminder for golden turtle's younger generation. There is no hopeless land in this world, only quick-to-quit souls. Farmer John's greatest legacy was not the orchard, but the seed of faith sown in the hearts of his people.